One of the most dangerous winter storms in over 10 years is coming, and it could shut down the South for days. A powerful winter storm is less than 3 days away from exploding in the southern United States, which will lead to days of heavy snow and crippling ice accumulation. This winter storm will begin on Friday, as the most intense Arctic blast of the season meets with rich Gulf moisture in the southern United States. This dangerous combination of ingredients will lead to one of the craziest winter storms we've seen in a long time. This winter storm could be worse than the winter storm of 2021 in the southern United States, as a dangerous combination of heavy snow and freezing rain will last for days from Texas to the East Coast. This will cause major travel impacts, widespread power outages, and significant infrastructure damage. What makes this storm unlike any other storm that we typically see is how slowly it will be moving. Models are suggesting that the majority of our winter precipitation could slow down or even stall completely, which would lead to places like Oklahoma City, Little Rock, and Nashville seeing over 1 foot of snow, and Dallas and Atlanta, Georgia could see over 1/2 inch of ice accumulation. And what's even crazier is that exploding trees and life-threatening cold are on the table in the northern United States. Temperatures will fall to as low as 30 degrees below zero on Friday and Saturday, with wind chills as low as 60 degrees below zero. So in today's forecast, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know about this major winter storm that is about to slam the United States. Now, we have a lot to talk about in today's forecast, as we have a historic and even a potentially catastrophic winter storm that is about to take place from the southern plains all the way through the East Coast. I want to begin with our future radar over the next few days to give you an idea of the timing of this winter storm. Timestamp is at the bottom right of your screen. This is what it looks like as we go into Friday morning. This will be the beginning of our winter system. We are going to start to see a little bit of freezing rain begin over in parts of central and western Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle by as early as 8 to 9 in the morning, but this is going to become a much more widespread winter storm as we go late into the morning on Friday and into the afternoon. We will start to see some scattered freezing rain and also snow showers stretching from Little Rock and Memphis back into Tulsa, Oklahoma City, even as far north as Wichita, Kansas is where we're going to start to see some winter storm impacts, but it's going to get a lot worse as we go into Friday afternoon. That is when we're going to start to see our really intense Arctic air mass dive down to the south, and that, coupled with all the moisture coming out of the Gulf and the Pacific, is going to meet in one place, and we're essentially going to have this boundary here. It's like an invisible line that's going to be on the map, and that is exactly where all this moisture and cold air is all going to meet at one place, and that's what's going to create a very explosive winter storm on Friday, and that's what's going to cause all these different problems. So by 2 to 3 o'clock is when we will begin to see a little bit more of that moderate precipitation back over in Oklahoma, Arkansas, northern Mississippi, and back over in north central Texas. Now, once we hit 4 o'clock, this is when chaos is going to break loose, because we are expecting freezing rain to be falling at this hour for a lot of populated areas, which means rush hour could be extremely dangerous if people are not aware of the fact that there is going to be ice accumulation beginning around this time. It's not for everybody, for the record. Even if you saw yourself in that thumbnail and thought, oh, I'm about to get hit by big ice on Friday, that's not what this means, and not everybody's going to see ice on Friday, especially around 4 o'clock. However, notice where that freezing rain is located. Anywhere in that brighter pink color there, that is where we're expecting the threat of ice accumulation by around 3 to 4 o'clock. This includes Wichita Falls. It goes back towards Lubbock, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Little Rock, and even back over towards Memphis. This is where freezing rain, snow are all on the table around this time. Notice I did not say Dallas-Fort Worth. I don't think DFW is going to see that transition from rain into freezing rain until closer to 6 or 7 o'clock. It's going to be a bit later. With that said, I do think almost every single school in this area will be closed on Friday. I think if you're back over in the DFW area, it's going to be more 50-50. It's going to come down to the school district. I think a lot of them are going to play it safe, because obviously if freezing rain were to arrive any earlier than 3 or 4 o'clock, it could be a complete disaster. None of these roads really are going to be treated. Very few roadways will be treated for this winter storm other than the main highways. A lot of the time, those are at least treated to some extent. Friday night, freezing rain is going to ramp up across the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so that'll arrive sometime around 6 or 7 o'clock. Moderate to heavy snow will begin to move south towards Little Rock and Oklahoma City, but if you're back over in Little Rock, we are going to begin with freezing rain. So ice is going to be a threat in the Little Rock area and Memphis, even though you are eventually going to transition to snow. It's not going to be an all-out snowstorm, which means that there will be a lot more travel problems and the possibility even of some isolated power outages. Friday night and early Saturday morning, this winter storm is going to rapidly grow in size right along that boundary, with freezing rain as far south as San Antonio, even back over towards Waco, back through Huntsville, northern Mississippi, and also right along the I-20 corridor from DFW back towards Shreveport. That is where moderate to heavy freezing rain is going to be occurring Saturday Saturday morning. I do want to point out that yes, there will be a corridor where sleet is happening. I think this is going to be a very thin corridor. Sleet is not nearly as dangerous as freezing rain. Freezing rain could easily cause catastrophic problems, including infrastructure damage and widespread power outages, or possibly days from areas like Texas back into northern Alabama. So we really have to hope that somehow sleet becomes the more dominant threat instead of the freezing rain, because sleet is a lot less dangerous for those two things. Roadways are still going to be almost impossible to drive on. And then moderate to heavy snow will continue from Oklahoma City all the way into western Virginia and also Kentucky and western North Carolina. And then once we go later into the day on Saturday is when this winter storm will continue to grow in size. Freezing rain is going to be a really big threat, I think, in the I-40 corridor back over in Tennessee. One of the biggest things that we have seen over the last 24 hours with the computer models is that they are all gradually shifting to the north, which is not a good thing for some of these areas. Nashville could be dealing with more of an ice threat on Saturday. Same thing with Little Rock, same thing with Memphis, and all around Dallas-Fort Worth. We're talking about a better threat here further north of seeing ice accumulation. That means Atlanta, Georgia, you guys might not be seeing a whole lot of ice accumulation until early Sunday, maybe not even seeing much of anything. So this is a very important trend to be watching for as we go into Saturday night. A lot of the computer models have lifted a little bit further to the north, and that is a very important trend. Again, that will make a big difference between Atlanta, Georgia, for example, getting hammered with a really significant ice storm, or maybe just seeing a lot more cold rain, perhaps only a glazing to a tenth of an inch of ice. It's a major difference. Let's just say that, because if we were to see over half of an inch of ice in that area, which is what a lot of models are showing over the last 24 hours, we would have an extremely dangerous situation on our hands. Now, Saturday night into early Sunday morning, freezing rain will start to drift a bit further down to the south in Texas. It will eventually reach Waco, San Antonio. It might get down towards Houston. It's still a little bit 50-50 as of right now. And then we'll have some rain kind of lifting off to the north. And then also a lot of snow stretching from literally Maryland, New Jersey, New York, all the way into Oklahoma City. And we will see a brief transition into snow, I think, over in North Texas. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, maybe a little bit of snow Sunday morning, but it's not going to be much. It's really not going to be a whole lot compared to the ice that we're going to see. And then Sunday afternoon and evening is when this winter storm will roll over towards the northeast, where we could be talking about some really big snow. If you're back over in southern New England, we might even have a little nor'easter on our hands by Sunday night. And then early Monday morning, the snow will start to wind down. Just a few snowflakes left over in the northeast comparatively to what we'll be seeing over the next couple of days. And then things will start to quiet down again. Now, before I show you the total amount of snow and ice you might see in your location, this is a general map to give you an idea of who should be preparing for this winter storm. You should prepare now if you're in Arkansas, Oklahoma, North Texas, southern Missouri. These are areas that could experience some very significant snow and as well as ice accumulation. You should be beginning preparations. Anywhere else in the darker purple color, all the way over towards Virginia and North Carolina. And anywhere in that pink is still an area to watch for winter storm impacts. We may start to see those areas get added into our beginning preparations area. So something to monitor. We are posting this almost all day on our social media pages on Twitter and Facebook, so make sure to follow us over there. It's at MaxVelocityWX. But we already have winter storm watches in effect for most of the southern plains, and this is an area that widespread power outages are possible if you see that freezing rain area, which again is going to be very significant. We could be talking about over a half of an inch of ice for a large area, which could lead to widespread power outages that could last days. On top of that, we have Arctic air that's going to spill down to the south, and it's going to get extremely cold in parts of Texas and even into the southeast. Now, we have seen a dramatic shift on the computer models over the last 24 hours in terms of where the heaviest of this snow is going to set up, which is very critical. So this is our last run. This was about 12 hours ago. This is the European model, and it showed the most significant snow from Oklahoma City back into Tennessee and Kentucky, including Little Rock, around 12 inches of snow, right? This is the latest European model run. This is a significant shift to the north. I mean, this is a dramatic shift, and we could see this continue to shift over the next 24 to 48 hours. Keep in mind, this event doesn't start until Friday into early Saturday, so we still have about 48 hours until things really start to get into gear, but that kind of shift is very, very notable. I mean, we're talking about Little Rock going from 12 inches of snow to almost 1 inch. I mean, that is a major difference in general. But yeah, this is a 200-mile shift to the north, which is dramatic in nature, but we are still expecting major snow nonetheless. It's just going to come down to exactly where that's going to set up, but models will continue to shift over the next 24 to 48 hours. Keep in mind, this event does not start until Friday into early Saturday, so we still have about 48 to 60 hours until things really start to kick into gear. But this is definitely a trend that we need to watch for, because I mean, again, look at Nashville. Nashville went from literally seeing the possibility of 10 to 12 inches of snow down to now only about an inch or two according to the European model. So that's obviously a dramatic shift. And I really can't stress this enough. Things are going to continue to change over the next 24 to 48 hours in terms of exact snowfall accumulation. For example, this is the National Weather Service blend of models, and it shows a much larger area still of seeing at least 6 to 12 inches of snow across Oklahoma, even Little Rock, over near Nashville as well. So things will continue to shift. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We will continue to have daily weather updates here, 2 videos a day, and on top of that, we might even have a live stream tonight answering your questions and as well as tomorrow. So definitely make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And this shift has even more major implications down the road. If you're over in the mid-Atlantic, the southeast, or the northeast, this is what the European model showed 12 hours ago, and this is what it's showing now. Notice how much further north it is. That's about 2 to 3, even almost 400 miles further north across Virginia, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. So again, major difference there. Models are going to continue to change over the next 24 hours. A lot of the high-res computer models will be coming in over the next 24 hours. So by tonight, we should have a better idea of how much snow is actually going to fall across the board, and there should be more model consistency by then, which means, again, we might have a live stream tonight going over all the new changes. So definitely make sure to stay tuned. Now, once again, the most dangerous part of this winter storm will be the ice accumulation, and we are talking about the possibility of catastrophic impacts when it comes to the ice across parts of North Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, and northern Mississippi. We are expecting a wide swath of over a half of an inch of ice from Dallas-Fort Worth all the way back into southern Arkansas. The European model, once again, has shifted everything more to the north here over this latest run, so it could shift south again. It could go really wherever, but this is generally where we're expecting the most significant impacts. I think it's almost a lock at this point that southern Oklahoma and North Texas are going to get hammered by an ice storm, and I would expect ice storm warnings to be issued late tonight or tomorrow, and then back.
This fully automatic electric nail clipper totally gets your nail trimming pain points. Safe for kids and the elderly, it's a hassle-free.
And back over in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, this is all a wild card area as of right now. Things are still changing with the forecast, so things may change down the road. It's going to depend basically if we have a low pressure system formed down here in the southeast, and then also our high pressure system off to the north being a little bit weaker. And then this is the National Weather Service blended models, which still shows a large spread of where that ice accumulation is going to occur. Generally speaking, it's most consistent still right along the I-20 corridor from DFW towards Monroe, Louisiana, and even back over towards Huntsville. So I think the biggest thing to take away from what we're seeing with the computer models is that, again, things are going to continue to change over the next 24 hours. It's going to come down to the intensity of our ridge, and also if a low pressure system is going to form along with that in the southeast. And then this is what it shows across the East Coast as of right now, showing our more significant icing in Tennessee, Carolinas, Virginia, South Carolina, and Georgia. Again, the NAM is showing something a little bit more different for the southeast as of right now. It's still showing the most significant ice accumulation being in Atlanta, Georgia, and South Carolina, and across most of North Carolina. So this is a trend that we need to watch for very closely. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll have another video later this afternoon talking all about any new changes that happen, as I do expect a lot of changes here over the next 24 hours. Now, another big concern over the next 7 days will be the temperatures, and we are going to see an extreme Arctic blast. And you're reading your screen correctly here. We have an exploding tree risk on Friday and Saturday in the northern plains and the upper Midwest. This is something that you don't see very often, but this only happens when temperatures drop to 20 degrees below zero or lower. So we are expecting a widespread area here with temperatures under that number, which means you could actually hear trees exploding. What that essentially means is they're not going to explode like TNT or something like that. Essentially what happens is that they make a large cracking sound, and it can actually be heard for up to a half to even upwards of a mile. So it's actually a very interesting weather phenomenon. If you've ever heard of a huge crack when it's really cold outside, that is actually an exploding tree. So these are the temperatures that are forecasted for Friday morning across the northern plains in the Midwest. We are going to have widespread temperatures between -20 to -30 degrees. All the way back down into the southern plains, that Arctic blast is going to start to go all the way down into Texas by Saturday and Sunday. Sunday is going to be our coldest day of the week for many of you. Back over here in Texas, even near DFW, will be near 10 degrees for a low temperature Sunday morning, 0 degrees in Oklahoma City. This is pipe bursting cold. Make sure that you're protecting your pipes. Monday and Tuesday will likely remain below freezing all across the southern plains in the southeast. We could even see a little flash freeze back over in the southeast on Monday as well. And then on Tuesday, most areas in the southern plains and the southeast will once again be above freezing, which means any ice accumulation will hopefully melt by this point. But again, we could see ice accumulation all the way through Tuesday in some of these areas. I mean, ice will start as early as Friday night in DFW. It could still be there by Monday or Tuesday, which means school closures could also last through Tuesday. Major travel impacts, all that stuff is on the table all the way through Tuesday down here in the south and the southeast, which makes this winter storm even that much more dangerous. And as always, thank you all so much for watching today's forecast. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. This winter storm is going to shatter a bunch of records. Once again, we got a lot of snow and ice coming. This is going to be reaching historic levels in a lot of areas. So get ready. Make sure that you're starting your preparations right now in the southern plains and also the southeast, just in case you do end up seeing a really intense winter storm here, which is expected here over the next few days. Also, I do want to remind you to follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at MaxVelocityWX. We'll continue to post rapid fire updates on those platforms as well. Click the bell icon here so you're notified with the latest updates, and we will see you in the next video or live stream.